I know I've said this before.
Yeah.
But if we had to advertise primitiveplumbing.com, it would be hard. It'd be funny. It would be very funny.
They'll come dig you a hole. That's gonna stink. Better be deep.
But thankfully, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about our good friends at Modern Plumbing Industries. That's modernpi.com.
Yep.
They're great folks, and you should use them, and they can save you some money.
Yeah, we use them. They installed an outdoor shower at my house.
Yep.
Did an amazing job. If you have any plumbing problems, just tell them you're a Tom and Dan listener. You get 10% off.
Yes, so that can be a lot.
Yeah, no, for any service.
And I think I got to call them. I think I got an issue on the third floor.
No,
I
really?
think we got a clog. And but it just we have a toilet that keeps getting clogged. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me I have a route all the way to the third floor. That would be literally the scariest thing I've ever. Anyway, but they're going to come out and handle it. They can do pretty much anything plumbing, and they handle, give them the areas.
Yeah, Seminole, Orange, Lake, Volusia, Osceola, residential, commercial, industrial.
Yep.
They could do 24-hour service calls. Second generation family-owned business since 1975.
Yes, sir.
It's modernpi.com.
They say nothing in life is free.
Nothing in life is free.
But we beg to differ. The Tom and Dan Bad at Business Beer Fest is back. And guess what? It's totally free. That's right. Free entry, free beer, food trucks, and more, because we still haven't figured out how to make money on a free beer fest. Yet. On November 23rd from noon to 5 p.m., we're taking over historic downtown Sanford right between West End and Celery City Craft. Grab your free sample cup starting at noon while supplies last. And enjoy beats from Orlando Music Syndicate. Then at 2 p.m., the party kicks into high gear with live music from Silver Linings and free beer samples from dozens of local breweries. Special thanks to our not-so-free sponsors, JustCallMo.com, White Claw Seltzer, Fairvilla Megastore, Modern Plumbing Industries, and the Current Seafood Counter. Come early, bring your friends, and party with us at the Tom and Dan Bad at Business Beer Fest on November 23rd. See you there. Did we mention it's free? Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey, it is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Our guest today is Kenny Sampson.
Hey-o.
How you doing, Kenny?
First time Friday free show where I'm actually on the show and not awkwardly sitting to the right of Tom.
Yeah. We have no guests sitting in. Normally we have a guest sitting in. Happy November. It is now Christmas time, everybody.
Yeah, this is going to be an old school show because
I feel like shit.
Are you going to do a Movember?
Yeah.
Like with everyone grows the mustache?
I mean, I guess because I just keep a beard all the time.
Yeah.
I want a clean shave, but it looks like shit. I'm the ugliest and oldest I've ever felt.
Well, that's just because you had 6 beers last night.
My God.
The other one, and I don't get it, is No Nut November.
No, I don't do that.
The
I don't do that.
And then
I don't do
December
that either.
1st is...
Our friend,
you guys
comedian
know.
Akeem Woods, he did that for, I think he did he was like, I'm going to do a full month of no masturbating or whatever. Like, okay, everybody do whatever the fuck you want. You guys are nuts. If you
Okay,
want to do
Seinfeld.
that. You're literally crazy.
Oh, I found out yesterday there's about 50 tickets left to the Museum of Art event with Grant Britton, who is a skateboard photographer. He's friends with Tony Hawk, so he's called up Tony Hawk, and he's coming down.
They're doing a panel, and they're going to talk about all of their world-famous skateboarding photography, and you can see it. Super intimate event in a tiny little auditorium right there in the museum. And yeah, scoop up seats.
And me and Daniel are going to be there. If you use promo code Tom and Dan, you'll be able to get tickets to go back to the museum and check out the Grant Britton exhibit.
Yes.
Also, they got a really cool punk rock exhibit there.
They have a little golden book exhibit with the original art that was used in the children's books. That's really cool. Guitar collection that is on loan from a local Winter Park guitar collector with some famous guitars in it.
I was embarrassed that prior to seeing the Grant Britton exhibit that I had never been to the Museum of Art. Kenny, have you ever been there?
Yeah, no, it is dope. I was there.
Hold on, you said no.
Yes, I have been.
Okay, thank you.
It's a fancy, fancy museum right there.
It's pretty fancy. It's very fancy.
I will fully admit, you talked about it before. That auditorium that's in there is amazing. I've been in there for fringe shows as well, and I was like, man, I wonder how much it is to rent this place out.
I thought the same thing. I was like, this is good for a live podcast.
What are we going to do?
A live podcast.
Okay. Hey, you put a table up there? That's how you do it, right? You put a table up there.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing the same thing, but worse.
Yeah.
We have a wrinkly backdrop behind us.
God, we've always had wrinkly backdrops. God, I hate our step and repeat so much. Every step and repeat we've ever had has been a piece of shit, except for the one we got from Rebecca Creek. Remember that thing?
Yeah, I brought that camping by accident.
Yeah, you did. It was fantastic.
I thought it was a camping tent.
Yeah, all the kids played with it. We left it in the woods.
I loaded that motherfucker onto a trailer. They drove it out to the woods.
And you brought it home.
And I was like, God damn, this is a Rebecca Creek advertisement. And then we still set it up.
We did.
And it looked like our campsite was sponsored by Rebecca Creek.
Oh, it was a good old days.
We took pictures with it.
Oh, it was fantastic. Our kids took pictures. Then they played on it. Then the wizard's baby, he got inside there. He's making a tunnel through it. Like, it was awesome. It was super fun. Is there any business we got to get out of the way, or just want to dig into Halloween?
One more thing I want to promote.
Yes, sir.
It's a charity event. It's in Winter Park. It's a super fancy, nice charity event.
Are we going out there?
We're going to go out there. It's called Cows and Cabs. It's cows, the letter N, cabs.com. It's in
I wonder
Winter
if
Park.
anybody's ever tried to put a cow in a yellow cab. Just push it as hard as you can and get it in there.
It basically, tickets include like free, ridiculous amount of good quality food.
You're like walking
and
around
drinks
getting all kinds of crazy stuff.
Now, it's expensive.
It's an expensive ticket.
Yeah, but what I would do is just have your business pay for it if you're like me, and then write it off as a networking expense.
Yeah, isn't that what this event kind of is?
Yeah, it's for charity.
Yeah, it's a big businessy charity event that you can go to, but it is one of those.
It's super nice.
It is. It's one of the ones that they've come in here before. I think they were in here years ago to advertise Cows and Cabs, and it's the creme de la creme, best of the best.
Yeah, the opulence of it. And
it's pretty awesome.
And then there's only 200 people. Like, they cap it.
Yeah.
So it's not crowded like crazy.
So it's
like
capped cabs and cow cab capped.
And typically those events have really awesome auctions. Like, it's like, hey, we're going to auction 2 weeks in the French Alps, starting at $12,000, and then people are just battling for it. And it's insane.
Oh, my wife's asking if she's asking if she is allowed to go. Is
yes,
this just us?
No, me, Crystal, and with the wives. I got us.
I always have dreamed
tickets
of you and I going to business events with 2 escorts. What if we each got an escort?
That's what I want.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It's just for business. We pay for it with the business.
We go with some Russian escort.
They're just escorting. There's nothing more.
That's what they're professional escorts. They laugh at your jokes.
They're like, Daniel, you're so funny. And I'm like, give me a hand job. I'm crazy horny. I'm an animal. I'm a misogynistic crazy animal.
I was just trying to give you a hand job at the porta potty. Stinks like shit.
God, I can't get hard. It smells like shit in here.
Shit about those blue chews.
Used code TNJ.
No, we're going to get our own sponsor.
The News Junkie.
Stop.
I found out yesterday that code doesn't work anymore.
Stop talking about the
I know, but
code.
I heard Sean even said that. Sean's like, stop saying it. His code doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry. And did you see Mo? Mo DeWitt dressed as a Blue Chew for Halloween.
No, he didn't. He was some sort of Smurf, right? He wasn't a Blue Chew. He was on.
He was.
That's our bigger sponsor.
I swear on my fucking daughter's life that Mo DeWitt.
No, he didn't.
This Mo.
Get Busdecker to confirm.
This one right here, he went as a Blue Chew.
No, come on.
He did.
No,
he
don't
got a
say
custom
that.
Blue Chew sweatshirt.
No.
He did.
So that's something different.
He did. And then I even texted their texting service. I was like, lick him, Sean, lick him, get your dick hard.
All right.
I think the Ozempic injector was also a popular Halloween costume.
No,
this year.
really.
Didn't Lizzo, didn't she go as Ozempic?
Is this a joke?
No. Don't do that to me. Because South Park, I guess, made an episode where they talked about Lizzo being on Ozempic.
Gotcha.
To take the power away. I guess she dressed as like a box of Ozempic.
A couple of celebrities dressed up as E.T., but like blobby E.T., like they just got one of those mascot costumes. Janelle Monáe, and then Heidi Klum. Yeah,
they both went as E.T., but Janelle went as like real turd E.T., like little turd E.T.,
like a turd monster,
like the turd monster.
Yeah,
and
E.T. sitting down and like all of his folds and his belly are like compact.
And Heidi Klum went as her body, but with like a big E.T. head. And I fuck that shit. I'll fuck an E.T. Would you fuck an E.T.?
Was it a big like rubber mask?
But it's she always throws money at it, you know.
Yeah.
She always has like some guy come in and do.
It's
so like
the one where like basically the long neck of E.T. is where her face is. That's where she's able to see out of, and then the giant E.T. head is above her.
And it had like hair of it had Heidi Klum's hair.
Have you seen the E.T. porn?
Of course I have.
You know what?
Yeah, you're kidding the pervert.
I am odd man out on this one because I have not seen.
You haven't seen the E.T. porn?
I also gotta admit something to you guys. I've started using a new site.
What do you
I
mean?
am no longer an Xvideos guy, and I am no longer a Pornhub guy. I am now. Because the algorithm's different and all the videos I've received are brand new.
Oh, no. Don't tell me you went full hamster.
I'm YouPorn.
Oh, YouPorn?
YouPorn's algorithm is completely different, and it is offering me up videos that I've never seen before. Now, granted, they are 06. But it's. I feel like I found
06 a good year.
It is a good year. It's a great year. It was like right before Obama, right? I feel like, or during, or was that during?
It was no, it was before.
Right before.
Yeah,
it was like right before the best. Everyone knows the best porn came out right before we had change and hope.
It was after high speed internet was available, but before social media.
Yeah. Thank you. I knew the pervert would know. I'm YouPorn, and it's in, and I am being dead serious. I'll go there. I'll type in an actress that I like, and then all new videos.
It's got to be the same as all the other ones. they all work. It's not. It's like our glasses. It all comes out of the same Chinese factory.
Chat room is saying there's also You Lust too. I'll try that one.
Lust?
You Lust.
No, that has some weird viruses.
No, YouPorn is good. And I was on Tube Galore Classics for a while.
Tube Galore? I haven't heard that name for years.
Well, they have a old man version of that. Is Tube Galore Classic? It's like ESPN Classics for guys that like to jack off. So it's old boxing.
You of all people know that there is an infinite amount of porn.
I love old
Tube Galore Classics.
Tube Galore Classics, and I go back and I like to watch a little Behind the Green Door. I watch a little Debbie Does Dallas. I watched some of the movies that my dad would have liked, you know?
What's crazy is, like, Taboo has, like, 18 sequels.
Secca. No. I like the Secca series. Look up the Secca series. Very, very classic. 1970s and early 80s.
It's when porn had B-roll footage of a car driving by.
They would do B-roll. They do, and they'd have cool music. And they're like... They establish the scene.
And sometimes it's almost custom music. Where it's like an actual band.
They were real bands. They do
the
soundtrack for them. Anyway.
Like a tremendous amount of effort was put into this.
That's why it was better, though. If you go back and look at it, they are better. Like the girls that do it now, they're mostly on drugs and very young and sad. So
and you can do this for so cheap. You're doing it on your iPhone, and you're just like, look at this. It's like there's no car driving by.
Look at me! I'm at a charity event getting this Russian hand job.
Put some editing into it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Halloween because Halloween was last night. Daniel,
what'd you think?
My kids had a good time.
Yeah, what'd you think?
That was great.
Great Halloween. Yeah, we had a great one, too. We had a good one.
So Daniel lives in, Baldwin Park, which is one of the biggest Halloween destinations in the country.
It was at one point a couple of years ago. I think it was pre-pandemic. It was number 13 in the nation.
Yeah,
in North America.
How many people descend upon Baldwin Park?
There must
over
have,
6,000.
It looks like Magic Kingdom, where just the amount of families.
There must have been 10,000 people passing past my home last night.
Yeah. You said
like
you gave
traffic jam. Full traffic jam. We gave out, I think Andrea's in the chat room. She'll have to give me the exact number, but we gave out Floam, we gave out slime, we gave out toys, we gave out erasers, we gave out stuffies, and then we gave out chocolate. And we gave out all of it. I mean, bags upon bags upon bags of stuff. All of our neighbors had stuff. I mean, we just gave out just tons. So much stuff. We started a little earlier than I thought, like maybe around 6 is when we started. What time do you guys get started?
So in our neighborhood, I'm not in an HOA. There's just someone that really loves organizing these things. They hand out those yard signs that basically say, hey guys, 6 to 8:30 is when we're doing trick-or-treating, and if you want to participate, put the sign in your yard, and that way the kids know to come.
That's kind of cool, actually. Yeah. We don't really have a set time. That would actually be more helpful. Andrea said we gave out 3,000 pieces of candy and toys.
Awesome. And then you had to pack up shop and turn off the lights because there's still more.
Yeah, they were they were going for maybe an hour after we shut up shop.
Wow.
So we always drive over to the fancier part of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like we live on the. I'm
weird.
Sure they call it the Castleberry side of Maitland.
And people can hear you coming because you take the horses, right? Like, don't you take the wagon across?
And so we
gas-powered golf cart.
By the way, Crystal always reminds me as we're walking through, like the night is called Domrick, and it's like the nicer, it's like a winter park area. And Crystal's like, we could have lived here, but you wanted to save $50,000 because we looked at a house.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, this is when houses in Domrick were like 240 grand.
Oh my God, Tom.
And then there one near Castleberry is 175, and I was like, we need the 175. We get a 240. Yeah. That's insane.
Who do you think you are, Elon Musk?
Puff Daddy over here. Anyway, so at the time that was the richest.
Yeah, we picked two of the least polarizing people for our example.
So then we go through, and the amount I'm looking around.
Do you want me to put up the pictures?
Okay, I want to show Kitty this. So
okay, here I'll put up picture 1.
Like they're, I guess.
Okay, here are the kids. You can see the kiddos are standing.
They do this in Baldwin too, but I think you can get away with more just with the non-HOA as far as like build, because these people must have started building this shit in front of their house.
God,
weeks ago.
You can see a really well-made wooden deck. Mm-hmm. And then there's a jail that has been constructed on top of it.
It's a full pirate ship.
Yeah.
And then a pirate jail with skeleton crew.
Here's another.
Like, it is the monstrosity that this nerd dad built.
That's a full boat. It's a full boat.
Yeah, I mean, and then really only just for people to be like, oh, cool, take a picture. And then, like, this person spent weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of man hours. And then it was everywhere. Not just this person, like the whole street, like all the neighbors were out.
They were all in on it, right?
Everybody was in on it.
Dressed as a pirate.
Yeah. Like, and then everybody had these huge displays and lights and the smoke machines.
Yeah, you could see the smoke. You could see the purple lights.
I mean, it's insane. And then, like, everybody dresses up. All the parents dress up, but they go above and beyond. Like, you're walking down the street and full on Tyrannosaurus Rex inflatable costume. Someone that has like full Frankenstein get up, like he's walking on stilts. Like
it was like a DJ, like a live DJ, a keg of beer.
Yeah.
I've seen these guys.
It reminds me of those movies that, when we were growing up, when it's Halloween and the entire neighborhood's in it, everyone's dressed up as a generic Halloween character, and you're like, that's unrealistic. This doesn't happen. But then you're like, oh my God.
It's Kenny, it's more now than even in the movies. And that one, I'm glad you brought that up.
Like, you can't move in Baldwin. Like, I couldn't have gone. God forbid there'd been a medical emergency. I mean, you're not getting out. I mean, like, I was trapped.
When I'm walking through last night, just seeing the amount of effort that people do there's no incentive to do this except for people are like, good job, Frank. You know what I'm saying?
It's a pat on the back scenario.
Frank spent $8,000. He has to load this shit into a storage unit and pay monthly at the storage unit to hold all this shit until to set it up next year. Like, this person has spent $8,000.
Where do you put it?
in a storage unit. And I started thinking about we should invest into storage units.
For dads with... because but make it like for... Okay, so the company would be... What you need is the company... You need like what Mosquito Nicks used to do. But you need it with Halloween decorations. You buy the decorations. They'll come and set up all your dumb skeletons, and they'll take them back and store them.
They do that. And I think some of the rich, like, winter party, there was a couple houses, I was like, a professional set this up. But, like, the pirate, like, any of the custom stuff, these people.
Well, this guy was a carpenter. I mean, the pirate ship, the one is ridiculous. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
Believe it or not, Tom, some people like doing stuff to see other people have joy and happiness.
I'm glad they exist.
Well, you do that. I mean,
I decorate my house.
But I think you're closer to one of the guys doing it for everybody else's enjoyment that you aren't.
But I'm not spending 2 months building a pirate ship. I mean, there's a limit to it. Like, I'll put some decorations out.
Also, our level of skill is a lot lower than this gentleman's.
He'll just spend a Sunday morning building a used computer for his son.
But, by the way, the storage unit business model is the impossible task business model. Follow me with this.
Okay.
So, we've dealt with this when we had a storage unit. Like, you get a storage unit, and then each month after, like, the first 3 months, they just increase the price. And then they tell you, like, listen, I'm sorry, it's our policy, we have to increase the price, but you can move all your stuff from this unit to a unit on the other side of the property, and you can go back to the
same price.
$89.99 a month if you want. It's up to you. Like, we just have to follow our policy, but you can move it, and you will save the money.
So the policy is either move your stuff or we'll continue to raise the rent.
And you're just betting on them being too lazy, which of course they are, we were, and then you're like, I'll pay the $150. You pay that because
I'll pay anything just not to move it.
You're giving them an impossible task. You're like, you could have it cheaper. You have to move all your stuff.
The thing that confused me is growing up, whenever it was like boat storage or whatever, they would call it adult toy storage. But I didn't understand that because I'm like, wait, a storage area for like dildos and butt plugs?
We got a jokester over here. Hey, are we on Kill Tony? Hey, look at this
guy. Not far enough.
I know, but to be honest, I was thoroughly confused. I didn't even think, that means for, boats and these warehouses of Halloween props and stuff. I had no idea
I've always had a little bit of a problem with people calling like motorcycles like adult toys. I'm like, shut up. What are you? Who do you think you are? A motorcycle.
And then
a vehicle. There's no, we're not fucking around over here.
So going back to what Kenny was talking about in movies, remember what we had in the 80s, like, and from the movie E.T., right? Remember the scene, the Halloween scene where all the kids are trick or treating.
Yeah.
I remember watching that in the 80s and being like, that neighborhood is cool. They got a lot going on.
That's very much like my neighborhood growing up.
Yeah. But it was just some ghosts and people running around with those orange pumpkin buckets.
Yeah, that's what I had.
And then a couple, like maybe a scarecrow. Someone put a scarecrow in their front yard, and then a pumpkin. No,
you put a pumpkin. And everybody had a pumpkin outside.
But it wasn't in a bounce house.
No, you didn't have a DJ.
Carnival,
you didn't have a popcorn machine. Snow cone.
Your entire house looks like Dracula's castle, and then there's inflatables.
And I get it wrong. Like, I don't even know what is cool for Halloween anymore because apparently I don't know my head from the hole in the ground. Maisie and Andrea both went as Maisie went as a Target employee. Mm-hmm. She wore jeans, a white shirt, and a little Target vest that said Maisie. And Andrea went as a Target basket. She had like the red basket like that she wore. And those costumes got more fucking love than any costumes I've ever seen.
Because it's unique.
And all moms were like, that's my store, baby. Like, I love Target. People were getting pictures with May. I'm like, this is some dumb shit. Yep. Like, this is dumb. Those are not good costumes.
It's getting less and less away from like scary and blood and axe murderer and more cultural references.
Yeah, it's just like, oh wow, what are you? It's like, I'm I work at Wendy's. So great.
Yeah, it's just like kids have it so good where you just go to a place like Baldwin or like right down my street, and you have so many people that are decorating just for your benefit for one night. You can walk around free, and then like like when we were kids, like I remember telling my mom, like, "Hey, look, the Rodriguez family they bought 3 pumpkins.
Yeah, whoa,
they carved 3 this year.
Holy shit!"
One of the things that I think broke the dam open was the original Hocus Pocus, because there was like a giant party where everyone in the town dressed as something different. There was a town square that had like banners and everything that were all, themed out and strung out.
And at the time, people were like, "This is unreal. No one is going to ever do this much work."
And I think we're beyond it now.
Oh, yeah. We got to the point. I was just thinking about it. If you wanted to go to Baldwin Park, start right when everybody just kind of starts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you hit every house like you ran it. The amount of actual stuff.
If you had,
how much
if you had a box of garbage bags, you could literally you could get. Shit. You could probably get, I think you and I, if we were running it fast, could get 10 to 15 full 12-gallon garbage bags full of shit, full bars, candy. They were giving out popcorn, beers, liquor, martinis.
The scam
wine.
would be you spend the first 30 minutes going trick-or-treating to get all of it, then you go home and you distribute the candy that you just got back out.
Yeah.
No muss, no fuss.
Maisie did a little bit of that because we ran out of candy, so she had been given so much candy from her friends, she just started giving some of her stuff away because, candy has no value really to kids anymore. Because teachers give candy.
It's unlimited.
Yeah, like I used to candy to me was like a treat. I never got candy. I never got sugar cereals. I never got fun shit to eat. I never got fun. I never had Sunny D. My mom was an educator and a Christian lady. I got a bunch of horse shit. Bunch of horse shit.
There was
Cheerios.
There was a guy with a prize wheel that had he set up this whole thing,
badass.
And each kid would spin a prize wheel, and then I'm waiting. There's a line of people up to his house, and then Max comes back with lighted Kanye West sunglasses on, and then I'm like, where'd you get those? He's like, I won them on the prize wheel. I'm like, you won those? You're giving out full? They're nice. They're like on-off button. He's like, the battery goes down to my back pocket. They gave that away.
I have a full LED bodysuit. I can change the messaging on my chest.
There was a dad. I didn't see it, but apparently another guy told me there was a dad up the street from me that had the biggest Blackstone that they make, and he was out there with meat and buns and was literally grilling up smash burgers for people.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
He was like three. Like 3 patty smash burgers, like custom. What do you want on it? I'm grilling them up. Like a guy's spending thousands of dollars in hand ground hamburger meat. It's too far.
And so as I'm looking at this, thinking of these kids have it unbelievable because in the 80s, we just, we'd be lucky if someone put a spider web around their fence. They'd be like, hey, look at the spider web.
Or the thing that I would get most excited about is Reese Cups, right? Because they don't even move a needle anymore. And then if you got a toy, if you got a spider ring or something, you'd be like, yeah, you think that was pretty rad.
There was a network where you told your friends what house had what house to avoid, what house had the good candies.
Yeah. You'd actually my sons don't knock on doors anymore. They go because everybody's out front of their house handing the candies. So if there's a door, they usually, unless there's a sign that says take one piece, you won't even bother knocking on their door. You're like, hey, that person doesn't want to participate. So as I was thinking about this, then I started thinking, I was looking around and the old people, and I'm like, imagine how mad the boomers are that this shit is going on.
It's a different animal.
When they were young, they didn't get nothing.
Shit.
My pop-up went to World War II at 17 years old.
Yeah.
And the older my kids get, and my niece, she turned 13 this year, and I'm like, holy shit. I'm looking at a bunch of 17-year-olds dressed like a banana from Fortnite.
Peely's a big deal.
And then my pop-up at 17 was an actual first-person shooter. Shooting the Japanese. And I'm like, that's the gap.
Yeah, there's no respawn on that.
That's why. Yeah. And then those people got Facebook, and they're seeing the young, that's why everybody's fighting.
And then they'll see a kid dressed up in a military as a costume. And then, insulting.
What was the most creative costume you saw? I'm going to give mine to a friend of the family. There was a little boy who is a friend of Maisie's, is a younger brother of one of her friends. and he went as the captain of the Titanic. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Is it weird?
It was awesome. Like, I thought it was a great choice. He held a broken Titanic and he dressed as the captain, and it was awesome. And he's like, I'm like, are you the captain of the Titanic? And he's like, yes, he's a little kid. He's like, yes, I am. I loved it.
I had a couple of friends dress up.
He's in first grade.
I had a couple of friends dress up as the Menendez brothers, and they had a Bluetooth speaker that was playing Milli Vanilli's "Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
For those of you who don't get that reference, watch the documentary.
Yeah, all that music's in there, and apparently they were huge fans of that. It doesn't just, it's not just for the time, but
you know why? Because at the funeral,
they played it, but like no, like there's more. Well, there's other musical stuff ties with the dad, and then the Menudo ties. You've seen that?
Yeah,
that's rough.
Yeah. But you know, when you blow your parents away with a shotgun, I was like, ooh,
yeah, that's rough.
I don't know, even if they, you know, how bad were they to you? It's still just the fact that you could do that to someone. I don't know if we want you out there.
I thought there were going to be a lot of the ray gun
at the bottom. At the very least, they know how to use shotguns, and those are scary.
They were willing to do that. Anyway.
I would have put money that there's going to be a lot of ray gun break dancers and Haktua girls. Not that many.
I didn't see any Haktuas. I didn't see one ray gun. The number one costume for ladies, sexy, Princess Peach. That's the number one I saw. A lot of sexy Princess Peach.
A lot of little kids, at least little girls dressed up as the kitty cat that comes out of the pumpkin, which I guess is like an animated GIF type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that was hugely popular.
You see anything inappropriate?
Not inappropriate, but I will mention that Tommy dressed as a bottle of ranch dressing.
Brilliant.
Which actually has ties to our show, right?
Well, yeah, it does have ties.
Like, it has horrible ties to our show, which at first, when you sent me the picture, I'm like, oh, shit, he's found the show. And then I was like, is that maybe they bonded over it? I don't know.
And the reason for this is because
he did have the best costume. And me and Maisie both agreed that a bottle of ranch dressing as a costume is pretty epic.
And I haven't talked about this on the show, but they've been calling Tommy the ranch kid at school, right? For a while now, like maybe a couple months. And so this started, like one day he came home with a bottle of ranch in his backpack, a full bottle, right? And then I was like, what?
It's like you fucking going through, you pull out his folder, you're like, son, do you have anything you need to tell me? Why is there an ice-cold, unopened bottle of Kraft or Hidden Valley Ranch in your backpack?
Did someone you meet on Roblox give this to you?
Who gave you this?
Oh, God, they were right.
They gave him ranch. It's unopened. Thank God it's unopened.
I thought they were fear-mongering.
By the way, ranch fucking rules, too.
Oh, my God.
I just want to point that out.
But
I fucking love ranch, especially Gator's Dockside Ranch.
So
it's runny.
We were like, why do you have a bottle of ranch? He's like, oh, someone from class gave this to me because they know I like ranch. and then I'm like, they brought you a full bottle of ranch?
Hidden Valley, that's a good shit.
I mean, that's expensive as fuck. That's like gift-giving love language right there.
No, dude, that's a $6 bottle of ranch all day long. That's not cheap shit.
But I'm like, why do they think you like ranch? Because
the chat room's cracking up. Everybody loves it. It's a cool name. The Ranch Kid.
No, but he doesn't even like ranch.
I know that's the part that doesn't make sense. This is the part. Well, I just want. We didn't get to that part yet. We didn't get to the part where he's obviously weird like his dad. Because how did he get the name? This is a Paul scenario, right? They started calling him Ranch Kid, just like you started. They're calling you Paul, and then you're just like, well, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going along with it.
Yes, this is the Paul. Oh my God!
Is the Paul.
I never even realized
this is the Ranch Paul.
This is a Ranch Paul because I was like, why? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I make his lunch every day. I've never even sent him to school with a side of ranch. Like, I never ever.
It's not. I mean,
so he doesn't eat lunch at school, and then I'm like, so why do they think you like ranch? He's like, I don't know. And then he's like, I do kind of like ranch. And I'm like, yeah, but see, they brought you a bottle, and then he did a presentation about himself. And then at the end
My name's Tommy. You may know me as the Ranch Kid.
No. At the end of the presentation, he had to cut out and paste like things he likes.
Oh, like a mood board or something.
Okay. And then he put like some boating or something.
Right.
I made that up.
You made it for him. He put like boating. He put gambling. He put you poured. He put
But he cut out a thing of ranch, and then the whole class cheered. when he got to that slide.
Ranch.
And so chanting ranch. And then I'm like, so we got him a ranch costume.
Knowing your audience and doing something to cater to them, that's your kid.
Yeah,
like that
right?
is
He did. He leaned in. He knew that they liked it. He's like, well, they like the ranch. I'm going to give them let him eat ranch. Let him eat ranch. He gave him full ranch.
But I'm like, you don't even, it's not like you're obsessed with ranch and you have like a little packet in your pocket. You eat it on everything. You're a weirdo that you like have to have ranch on every single meal. Like, it's not that.
No.
You have ranch like once every couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah, he's a people pleaser.
Just now
he's like, they like the ranch. I'm gonna give him the ranch. It's not doesn't put me out.
The photos that you're putting, I love when it's like a group photo and it's like vampire and axe murderer and killer clown, and then the fourth person's like unicorn. Yeah, they just stand out like not even a part of the group.
What did we have here? We had ranch. We had Spider Woman.
No, she's Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool.
Yeah,
okay.
my niece was Deadpool.
Yep. She looks great. Deadpool.
Which I'm like, you watch Deadpool? God damn! I was like, why? I'm like, you can't see that shit.
Can't say ranch forever, baby.
No.
They grow up.
No, I know. Yeah. It's like, oh shit. I mean, that's like, religious people don't watch that.
Hey, what do you think about me? I mean, not to be a sad sap baby, fucking pussy baby or titty boy, but Maisie didn't even trick or treat. She didn't even trick or treat. She didn't even go out.
Yeah, she just didn't care.
No. At one point, she was going to go out. Like, she said, I want to go out by myself. And we're like, well, you can't. You got to go with, like, a friend. And then she's like, well, if I can't go by myself, I'll just stay here. She died on the hill.
Yeah.
She wanted to go out alone. We didn't let her. And so she just stayed home and dressed as the Target lady and handed out candy.
One of the things that I think ruined that also is the concept of trunk or treat, where everything is in, like, half a baseball field square radius.
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of cars.
You just have to work for it. And we have some BDMs that we're doing a trunk or treat, and I don't want to I trash trunk or treat. I'm very anti trunk or treat, but I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Like, I understand why, especially if, like, Halloween's, like, let's say it's in the middle of the week or something, or you live in an area where, there's not really many neighborhoods that you can go to. I get the concept of it, but I think doing it all the time, everywhere, and the kids are just like, I don't need to go door to door anymore. I can just go to this one trunk or treat and just get everything I want.
So I'm of the generation at 48 where I'm the generation that trunk or treat was created. I remember it becoming a new thing. I remember that we were doing trick-or-treating, and I remember one day my mom asked me if I wanted to go to our church, which was Trinity United Methodist Church.
I think it did start with churches.
Yeah, and they were doing this new thing called trunk-or-treat where they're going to decorate the trunks of the cars. And I'm just going to tell you my initial reaction as a young boy because I remember it. I remember thinking, this shit is lame because you're trying to be safer. I remember thinking that. I remember as a little boy thinking, or younger boy, I remember thinking, well, I don't want to go to the church because I spend a lot of time at the church because my mom's a fucking organist, so I'm over this. B, you're taking all the, like, you're sucking all the fucking fun out of it.
And you do it at 3 p.m. in the bright daylight, so there's no any sort of, like, spookiness or Halloween or, like, mischievous or anything like that. It's all bright sunshine.
Yeah, and when we were kids, I remember going to houses that I didn't know if they were even participating, but you went to every house to try to get candy because you wouldn't get that much, and knocking on the door, and then some confused Spanish grandma would answer it, and then be like, that was talking in Spanish, and then be mad that you bothered her during her soap opera.
That was all part of it.
And just dressed in a long nightgown.
You can see her titties.
Then you're like, I trick or treat, and then she'd talk in Spanish, shut the door, and then so, like, our kids never go, like, they never once knocked on a house door and then someone answered confused. And they just go from table to table, pirate ship. They're like, stand in front of the smoke machine. Yeah. We're giving out pictures.
Yeah, you're right. It's a completely different animal. We had to work for it. I remember my bike was always in play. It was a lot harder, and I just, like, not to sound like a bunch of old people sitting around complaining about it, but it does change the value of it, right? I think it does.
When you were a kid,
it's way more fun now, though.
It's more fun for me, but, like, I also remember there was in Brandywine, Florida, there was our Brandywine, the subdivision we lived in. There was, and I've told this story before, but not this part. But, like, part of the the weirdness of going out was that your mom and dad were allowing you to go out with your friends alone and do that, and you were going by some sketchy places. Like, I remember we walked by the house where the dad killed the mom in the Corvette. I've told that story before, remember?
Yeah.
She was trying to back out, and he shot her and then killed himself. So you'd walk by that, and then you'd tell the story to your friends, some bastardized version of it. You talk about, they were murdered right in this area. Like, you'd walk by it and you'd see, that's the driveway. You can still see the bloodstains. You can. But, you know what I mean? That was all part of it. And our kids won't do that.
Did you ever have parents that, you wanted to be a certain costume and your parents tried to make it at home instead of buying the actual thing? And the example I'm going to use is, it was 1993 or whatever, and Dennis Rodman, actually, I guess it would be 96.
You wanted to be Dennis Rodman?
He was on the Bulls. I wanted to be Dennis Rodman, so I wanted to dye my hair, have the makeup and the earring and stuff.
That makes sense.
It does. Black and white pervert.
But I wanted to get a Chicago Bulls Rodman jersey, and my parents didn't want to spend the money for that, so they just got me a Chicago Bulls generic T-shirt, but it had Michael Jordan's number on it.
Just as good.
And so I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Is this in Florida?
Sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Florida parents, it's just as good.
And I'm like, wait, first off, it's just a generic T-shirt. Secondly, it's Michael Jordan's number, and here I am, fully dressed up like Dennis Rodman.
Did you have a nose ring?
It doesn't make any sense.
Did you do blackface?
No.
You did, didn't you?
No, I did not. So you cannot find
I feel like Rodman may be one of the only ones you can pull off because he's so weird that if you did it, people would be like, oh, you're Dennis Rodman. They'd forget that you're I think they would. I think maybe they'd be okay with it for a split second longer than other blackface.
I didn't mind the other homemade costumes and stuff, but that one, it's no, this is a specific person. I need the specific items for it. Because at least when you're a generic football player, okay, whatever jersey and helmet you can wear. But this one, that was very disappointing, and I think that fueled my fervor. So when I do dress up, I have to be accurate to what I have.
Oh, I did smart off to one of Maisie's classmates because he was like, "What are you, a beer or something?" I'm like, "No, I'm Liquid Death. I'm water." He's like, "What is that?" I go, "It's a water. Google it."
I like he's like my grandpa. People are paying for water.
Well, the little kid, he goes, "Water? What is that?" And I go, "It's Liquid Death. It's fancy water." I go, "Google it." And then Maisie snaps over and looks at me. She's like, "Google it." She's like, "That's not nice." She's like, "Don't tell them to Google it."
They'll realize you can Google anything, and then their innocence is gone.
I do appreciate, though,
I'm like, Google 2 girls, 1 cup, you little piece of shit.
I do appreciate, I know you're talking about kids have it easy nowadays, but they're trying to cater to the adults because you'll always get, the one house that's full bottle of whiskey with the disposable shot glasses,
we have that all around
handing them out.
Listen, I'm just jealous that how good it is now. You're walking, it is a Halloween wonderland everywhere you turn, and it's insane, and everybody's doing a bunch of work to entertain you for free, and then giving you stuff. And that's the world we live in. Yeah. It's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
When you went trick-or-treating, did you go one side of the road, then other side of the road, or did you crisscross back and forth?
Nope, we did one side. Yeah.
Really? I always did the jig-jag.
We would do firefighters, and we'd stay to the right.
Oh, no, we're a crisscross back and forth family.
Okay.
And then we hit the spots again when we make the loop.
Did you ever snatch bags?
Well, when I was a kid?
Yeah.
No.
Do you ever ride by younger kids and grab their candy?
No.
We would do it. We would ride by on our bikes. The funniest thing to do is we'll ride by on your bike and snatch them because they can't get you. But we would never keep it. We'd give it back. But we would do it. They lose their mind. You would ride by and you just grab the pillowcase and you're out.
I always liked it when it's 12 kids go to one door at once, because they all end up converging. If I'm in front and I get my candy and then I leave, what I'll do is I'll get back to the back of the line because the old man handing out the candy doesn't remember every single kid in that span. So I'll end up getting the good candy, going to the back of the line and being the last person to get the candy. So I got double candy at one house.
There's no more bullying. There used to be a group of older kids that you would always have to watch out for when you were trick-or-treating.
That doesn't exist.
There's just, you
know why, don't you? Mark Marrow eliminated bullying.
It just is not a...
They're gone.
Does anyone egg houses anymore?
No. I'm sure it does happen, but not...
Or TP trees or anything like that?
Really.
That's not...
Too many people around here. You get caught.
And it's not, everybody's got surveillance cameras. Everybody's got a Ring doorbell.
Did you see the little Indian lady in Baldwin? Did that pop up on anybody's, like
No.
next door's okay. There's a little Indian lady like the country India, like straight up in the very extremely ornate. Almost looks like a wedding costume.
Oh, because I think Diwali is around this time.
Okay, well, it's a beautiful ornate costume. Looks like a little grandma, and she's on one of those little rentable. It's not the scooter, but it's the one with the little seat, like the little bench.
Okay, yeah.
She's on one of those. She was driving through Baldwin last night, and she would pull up to houses that had the please take one.
Yeah.
And she'd have a shopping bag from Macy's, a big paper shopping bag, and she would just dump the whole thing of candy in her bag, get on her scooter, and take off. And they have multiple videos of her. She's just getting all the. And it's a little grandma. It's not a teen boy. It's not a broccoli. It's not a young teen girl. It's not a middle schooler.
Would police stop you from doing that?
It's stealing.
Just because it says please take one and you're taking more?
Yeah.
But technically, is that against the law?
I mean, if you really wanted to dial it down, maybe not. But they'll find. I mean,
I'm just wondering.
It does infuriate
the letter
me.
Of the law.
Like, it infuriates
they
me.
might
like,
claim it as like what is it, mischievous or not mischievous, but it's like basically along the same lines as like
Kenny,
knocking over a trash can.
This lady's older than me. She's got to be in her early 60s.
It says, please take one. It doesn't say the rules.
You must.
Yeah, you say you must.
I just found it weird.
Politely asking, like, I choose to take all.
There was it was also the last person I would have ever, like, it's like, draw the person who did this. Well, I'm not going to draw a 5-foot Indian lady who's 64 years old. You know what I mean? On a scooter. I'm not going to draw that.
From an outsider's perspective, let's say you chased after her and tried to take her bag, you're going to look like the jerk.
Dude, it looks like she's driving home from Fashion Square Mall with a shopping bag, like it does. But she was stealing all of the candy. And then people are gonna,
it's like, get them! And they're going to beat you up thinking that you're robbing this old lady.
The video's fantastic because she also has this, like, gold. You could probably find it on Nextdoor. It's getting a lot of heat. But she has a beautiful gold scarf that flaps in the wind as she's driving away on her scooter. It's fantastic.
All right, let's take a break.
Yes, sir.
And when we come back, we're going to talk to Kenny about some things, and then we're going to do some voicemail and email.
You remember the song Easy Lover by Philip Bailey and Phil Collins?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a cover of it by Le Big Zero, so enjoy this. We'll be right back with more A Mediocre Time, 1-844-TOMNDAN show at tomanddan.com for last-minute emails. Easy Lover.
I see people buying tons of bottled water all the time.
Don't do that.
Plastic bottles of water, cases and cases. I mean, especially during the hurricane.
It's gross.
It's just like, so you can have RO water at your house.
Yeah.
With Guardian Water. Me and Daniel have it. We have it at the studio.
Yeah. It's not even powered by electricity. I mean, it's literally like gravity-fed system. So during the hurricane, if my power goes out, I still have an unlimited supply of amazing water.
Yeah.
And it's the best.
Yeah, and it's reverse osmosis is the way they filter it. That's the same as bottled water that you buy 24 packs of.
Absolutely. In fact, I like this better because it's not in stinky plastic.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, like you can just go like straight from the tap when you're cooking, when you're doing it. Like I do a lot of soups because my family loves soups. You put in the good water and it makes everything taste better.
Yeah, and then I think about all that plastic is thrown in the ocean, creating a garbage pile. I'm sorry. Also, they have full conditioning systems for your entire house. They use Westinghouse products, so it's always super good quality, and that way you don't have to repipe your house in case of like calcium buildup and what's in your city water. Like you'll get really purified water that's going into your shower and your
and
washing
Guardian's
machine.
been doing this for a very long time, and like Tom said, they've been working with Westinghouse for a very long time. They do great things in the community, and I'm pretty proud to say Guardian's been with us. I wonder if they've been with us like 10 years or something.
Yeah, no,
it's like,
I know.
It's crazy amount of time, so you know that you can trust them because they've been with us for a very, very, very long time.
It's GuardianWaterServices.com.
I love it, like when songs have like unnecessary congas in them. It just makes the song better, you know, a little bit of Latin percussion. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
It's like a little ooh, in the middle of it.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds really, really good. Kenny is hanging out with us. I'll give you a blast. There you go. Get one of those.
So, Kenny, what do you want to talk about today?
So, you got people on here talking about some news stories and Ross with his explosion of the week and stuff. I do have a news story, but it's going to open up a little can of worms of some other things that have happened.
Okay.
Recently, in England, there's a game over there they called Conquer. Conker, and it's basically you have like chestnuts on a string, and much like your wiener whacking thing, your job is they hold the chestnuts and you take your string of chestnuts and you try to swing it in order to break their chestnuts. So it's like a game of skill. There's obviously some accuracy involved, all that stuff.
Conkers is a traditional children's game in Great Britain and Ireland played using the seeds of horse chestnut trees.
Yep. So they had the annual event in there, and some old man ended up winning. And Dave Jenkins, they named him King Conker because he ended up winning. Well, he had to get investigated because they thought he had a steel chestnut that he was using.
Oh, I love this.
He was using metal instead of. More than 200 people participate in this annual competition in order to, he's 82 years old, by the way, and ended up winning.
So I apologize because I'm not...
The hardest conkers usually win. Hardening conkers is often done by keeping them for a year. Aged conkers are called laggies in many areas, or seasoners in Ireland and Liverpool. Baking them briefly, soaking them or boiling them in vinegar, painting them with clear nail polish.
So essentially, when you participate, you have to show your chestnut in order to make sure that it's real.
Is this the show me your nuts? Is this where we got
Is there a video? See if you can find some video.
I'll find some. Yeah.
So I don't understand. First, how big is a chestnut?
It's pretty. It's like size of a golf ball or a little bit bigger than that.
I got a picture of one. I'll put this up so people could see it.
So they claimed, he was using a steel chestnut or whatever. But then they're like, well, you show it. And
there's one.
Him being able to try to swap it out in his pocket. They looked at, apparently there was a lot of people with video and stuff to try to
there's
see if
one. See, they drilled a hole in it. They put it on a string.
Okay, so it's a chestnut on a string, and then they're whipping it at the other person.
At the other person's chestnut on a string to try to break it.
Are they just holding it, dangling it below? I don't understand.
This is like wiener whack-off.
It's exactly
like wiener whack-off.
So is the other person dangling it, and then I'm whipping mine?
I would imagine that I hold mine as a dangle, and you whip your nuts into my...
And to try to break
whip your conker into my conker.
And then
wait a minute. What if? How do you know which one broke?
Because it's on the string. Because you look at what's.
What if they
hanging on
both
the string.
break?
Well, you both are out.
Oh, okay, so it's a last person standing type of deal.
Do you get to and you have to keep using the same conker?
See, I don't know. But they investigated. They cleared him, this 82-year-old man. They're like, hey, there's no way he would have been able to swap out the steel one, use it, and then swap it back to the regular one, because they apparently investigate it before and after. Like when you pat down a boxer to make sure or you look at his gloves. I mean,
I like when you're looking inside, where you lace them up. You're like, I'm like, what are they looking for? What's going to be in there?
There's a similar Puerto Rican game played with smaller seeds, and it's called Galitos.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to make a joke. I was trying to think of one. I couldn't think fast enough. I'm too hungover.
Well, so that got me thinking, what are some other weird ways that people have tried to cheat in sports? And, there's the take the steroids, there's deflating the footballs, there's, the nudging, to get the first down. When you
they outlawed this, by the way, in Britain schools. Do you know why? Think about it.
I'm sure people are whipping each other in the head.
No, think about it. Why would they outlaw conker in British schools?
By poking people's eyes out?
No. It's like pencil fighting, maybe the aggression.
Nut allergy.
Oh, no. It's the most pussy way.
It's the most pussy. Yeah, literally, it says right here, in 2004, several schools in Britain, and they went on to ban it due to fears of causing anaphylactic shock in pupils with nut allergies. Health advisors said that there were no known dangers from conkers for nut allergy sufferers, although they did ban it anyway.
How many people are allergic to chestnuts? Oh my God, out of all, or if you have a peanut allergy, is it a lot of different nuts probably associated with that?
Anytime anybody says chestnuts, I think of the sample from Snoop Dogg where it's like, well, what would you have if you have, the one where it's like an old man, and he's like, and if you had balls on your chin, you'd have a dick in your mouth. You know what I'm talking about?
What does that make you think of that?
I don't know. Anyway, because it's like a joke. It's an old joke. It's like it's from the Dr. Dre. Hold on, I'm gonna have to find this and clear my name.
Hold on, Kenny. We'll get back to
it. I'm gonna have to find this and clear my name. It's Dr. Dre.
So you're about to present a bunch of different ways people have tried to cheat.
You got a dick in your mouth.
Like with
That's what he sounds
super unique and weird ways people have thought, hey, this is how I can cheat and not get caught and whatever. So while Dan's looking that up, I'll talk about the first one. Her name was Madeline De Jesus.
Okay.
She was an Olympic track athlete from Puerto Rico.
All right.
She was participating in a bunch of events or whatever. She actually had hurt herself doing the long jump and was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to participate in the relay race that I'm part of. Well, my identical twin sister is also a track athlete. I'll just have her run in my place instead.
No, I love this.
Yeah, they did the old identical twin switcheroo.
I've always wanted to do a switcheroo.
Yeah.
And you and I have done the closest I will ever come to a switcheroo when I edited Logic Man Andy into Drunky the Bear, and I still think about how awesome that was, dude. That was cool. Pulling a switcheroo is fun.
Well, so what ended up happening before you play the song is this was like in the preliminaries, and with the identical twin sister, she was able, they made it onto the next round. Well, this is when Nerd Coach found out about it, and it's like, what? How dare you do that? So he tattled on them, and they got disqualified. The coach was appalled that they would try to do the old identical twin switcheroo.
Appalled. I love the word appalled.
I like when twins will do the switcheroo, but with
sex.
With sex,
yeah,
and then the other twin gets charged for rape.
Yeah, I like that too.
But they didn't
I'm
think
a fan of that as well. We didn't think it through.
That
we
is
thought
rape.
it was harmless.
Yeah, they thought it was harmless.
Yeah.
But like, you are going to prison.
It was harmless
for rape.
It was harmless until it wasn't.
It was just, like this harmless prank. Is the worst charge.
And you probably think when you're like,
other inmates will beat you up because of what you're charged with.
It's horrible.
Oh my God.
It's horrible. Here, this is a good segue into the song. Song I was thinking of was the song "D's Nuts" by Dr. Dre. You'll hear the joke here in a second. I miss a good skit.
Yeah, a lot of albums I grew up with had skits.
I think it was D's Nuts. Hold on. Come on, get to it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Now you're going to hear, I believe it's coming to me without looking it up.
Okay.
I believe it's Rudy Ray Moore. He played Dolomite. Okay? And you're going to hear him after the guy goes, D's Nuts. You're going to hear him, the old man, do the joke that I'm referencing. Okay. And this is how fucked up my mind works.
Today.
Right here. If I had some nuts hanging on the wall, what are those nuts? You got walnut. If I had nuts on my chest, would those be chestnuts? Hell yes. I think he says hell yes. Hell yes, yeah. Now if I had nuts under my chin, would those be chin nuts?
I said, hell no, bitch, you'd have a dick in your mouth.
See, there you go. I said, hell no, bitch, you'd have a dick in your mouth.
That man's a grandma.
That man gave a young boy $1 bill at Shoney's one time. That man he walked around Shoney's and gave dollar bills to young kids.
All right, Kenny, back to your...
Sorry, Kenny. Sorry, it had to be done. It had to be done,
listen, I appreciate it. So there's another
Dr.
one.
Dre nostalgia.
This was a rugby match or a rugby union match between a couple of countries. Or a couple of teams, and much like in soccer, you only have a limited number of substitutions. Now, I know since COVID they expanded that number, but in rugby, once you substitute out, you can't substitute anymore unless it's for an injury, like a legitimate injury or whatever. Well, this was happening. A team ran out of substitutions, and they
Wait a minute, that's what the Colts are doing now. Who's doing that right now, where they took their kicker and put him on, IR, and then they're like, what's wrong with him? They're like, undisclosed.
Well, that you're allowed to just put him on IR for whatever reason,
That's
to
shit.
be honest.
I don't think you should be able to
So
do it.
in this instance, this guy was like, well, hey, we need to do an offense-defense substitution because we're down, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't figure out, how to pull it off because, it's one of those, especially in rugby, if you just fall down and grab your leg, it's like, come on, pussy, get up and do it.
Yeah.
You're rugby. You're running into each other.
I have enjoyed watching rugby lately. It's good.
So this guy had a good idea. All right, I'm going to take a blood capsule. And so he got palmed a blood capsule during like a stoppage and play.
Oh,
and
I like that.
He put it in his mouth, and then in the middle of it, he bit down on it, and it's like, oh, I'm bleeding from my mouth. Oh, and like blood's like dripping out, and it's like, oh, blood stoppage.
Yeah.
We got to, calm out.
I did this to stay home from school. I give myself a nosebleed. I would do it. I give myself a nosebleed to stay home from school. I just take an end of a paper clip and you just stab your nose.
Like a pulled hamstring is probably like the most popular sports injury that all sports have dealt with.
But they wouldn't allow you to sub out. They'll just be like, oh, okay, we're going to stop play, deal with the injury. All right, play on. You know what I mean? Like,
no, they wouldn't let you go out for a pulled hamstring?
No, not in rugby. But so he had it. How he got caught, they're like, hey, he's bleeding. We got to sub, it's the rules. He's bleeding. As he's jogging off the field, he winks and smiles at like his teammate that's running back on the field.
Why would you do that?
And every camera...
Why the fuck would you do that?
Every camera caught him winking and smiling as he's like jogging off the field with the blood, like the fake blood dipping out. So they obviously investigated it, and him and the team trainer that slipped him the blood capsule, they got suspended, and it's considered Bloodgate in the world of rugby.
Whoa, Bloodgate.
That is odd that they went that far to try to pull off an injury, because you would think...
I like it when you go really far.
Because also, like, a pulled hamstring is more...
It's a legitimate bad injury than your lip bleeding.
Of some sort of blood in your mouth. Like, if you bit your tongue, you can still play.
The blood in your mouth thing, it's the whole the Magic Johnson rule, essentially. Like, in basketball, for example.
Oh, they make you leave the field?
Yeah, they make you leave because, God forbid, there's some disease. Because that's easy transferred, from player to player. So that's why they try to, avoid that sort of stuff. And if you scrape your knee or whatever, this was like, gushing blood. That's when they say, nope, you got to leave the field.
It is one of my
regardless.
favorite things to do at a gym. If you ever see anybody bleeding, just yell AIDS. It's awesome, and it'll make everyone laugh. Everyone will laugh. I do it all the time. You just like say something, like, hey! You just yell it. And run away like active shooter.
So, and then there's another one in the Special Olympics.
I want you to tread lightly.
There's a team. The team.
I want
from
you
Spain.
to tread lightly.
So what they did was there's basketball there, and it's one of those where you have to have an intellectual disability to participate on the team.
Oh no,
the country of Spain. They're just like they all decided, hey, let's just fake being in the.
This is a Johnny
Wait a minute, they did the Johnny
movie.
I didn't know Johnny Knoxville was Spain.
It was the base. It was the precursor. It's what inspired the movie. It's what inspired the movie. But the entire
Warner Brothers
Spain,
presents El Ringer,
and it's one of those where they had to provide tests that showed that the IQs were no more than 75, and they had faked
I can do that.
all those tests.
I can fake an IQ test and make myself look dumb. I can do it.
Yeah, because if you're smart enough, you know what the wrong answers are.
Yeah.
So
But you got to be convinced. You can't go too dumb though.
So you
can't tank it.
Well, don't you have to actually have? It's not just based on IQ. Like, don't you have to have a disability of or?
Well, no. There's Special Olympics and there's Paralympics. Like, those are two different things. For the Special Olympics, it's those with typically mental disabilities and stuff. So
yeah, but there's those things can be proven by like blood tests and things, right? It's not just.
But do they prove them?
Like, you can't.
But do they do? My point is, I'm not trying to look. I'm not trying to be that guy. But it is. I am curious now. Before you enter a competition, do you have to provide paperwork of your ability or lack therein? Like, do you have to be like, this is my condition?
I thought so. Like, because
or can you? Or do people just
you
assume?
can't just, you can't just go to the Special Olympics and then like just say like, oh yeah, I'm special. Like, I mean, if I
but isn't it kind of like?
By the way, I'd be beaten in every single sport in Special Olympics. No matter how long.
How would you even vet that? You're not going to ask that,
So
right?
actually,
like, that's rude to ask somebody. Like, wait a minute, are you really special? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to clarify, here's the thing: it wasn't the Special Olympics; it was actually the Paralympics. And for for that year...
Well, I know people that had no business being in the Paralympics that were in the Paralympics.
So for that year...
I've got his number in my phone. I almost called him. I saw Raggio's number in my phone yesterday. I almost called him. So that guy scammed the Paralympics.
He hurt his neck, and then he blew everybody on the water.
He said he beat everybody, but he was like, I beat everybody like 17 seconds.
Well, on steroids.
So in the 2000 Summer Paralympics in Sydney, they had an intellectual disability basketball, gold medal. And the Spanish team won the gold medal when 10 of the 12 team members were found not to have any intellectual disability.
Did you know Angel from the Monsters is on that
team? That's true.
Yeah.
Write that down. Fact.
So the last story that I want to do, this one actually was kind of a caper. So you've heard the theory about, in baseball, corked bats. And the whole reason behind it is you can swing the bat faster, which supposedly gives you more power. I mean, it's been disproven, honestly, by Mythbusters that it doesn't really do stuff, but back in the day, they used to do it. So, 1994, Cleveland Indians, Albert Bell, who's notoriously known for just being an a-hole and like an absolute jerk or whatever, he hits a home run, and the opposing team is like, hey, we think he's using a corked bat. And they stop the game, they visually...
Oh, these are my favorite things. And this happens in modern day baseball. Yeah. I love it when they stop a game and they walk over to a pitcher and they're checking his hand. I love that stuff.
Oh, yeah, they're looking at his hat.
Looking for tar.
And then the guy's always mad. He's like, whoa,
what are you doing? What the fuck?
Yeah. So they look at the bat.
I love that.
And then they find it like, it's behind this guy's ear.
I do love... Baseball is the last line of grumpiness in American sport. It's the last line of grumpiness.
So they visually check the bat and they're like, hey, we don't see anything play on, but you know what? Because you called for it, we're going to put it in the umpire's locker room and we'll investigate. We'll do a full investigation. And if it's found out, then Major League Baseball can suspend or do whatever, right? So they put it in there. Well, the bat was corked. It straight up was, right? And the teammates of the Indians of Albert Bell knew it. And so relief pitcher Jason Grimsley was tasked with breaking in to the umpire locker room, which was locked.
Oh, I like this.
To swap out the bat with a non-corked bat. And how he did it was he went through the drop ceiling, and he was literally climbing through, opened the drop ceiling, went down, swapped the bat out, back up the drop ceiling, and went out. How they got caught. In the middle of the game, the custodian who was cleaning up was like, hey, there's shoe prints that are all dusty from here because, you go through the drop ceiling. There's like random drop ceiling debris everywhere.
God damn Scooby-Doo. They Scooby-Doo that motherfucker.
Something is awry.
Yeah.
Something, what the hell's
That's
going on?
That's why you got to kill the custodian. Like, anything I do, anybody, a witness, I kill him.
I think we talked about this one time on the show. Maybe.
I don't remember talking about this.
Like him falling through the drop ceiling.
Now, I remember Macho Camacho falling through the drop ceiling when he was trying to steal stuff from like his business. But was that the one you're talking about?
Dumb people try to fall through, or often fall through drop ceilings. This happened.
I've always wanted to fall through a drop ceiling.
Well, he technically successfully did it, but again, he left too much ceiling tile.
You kill the custodian. You got to kill.
And then when the custodian told the umps, and the umps looked at it, they're like, hey, this bat is a lot duller than literally the bat that I was looking at an hour ago, which was shinier. And they basically were like, this clearly is not the right bat. They tried swapping it out with something identical, and it's like, no. It also had a signature stamped on the bat that wasn't on the other bat. So it's like, again, clearly, guys, this is not the right one.
The chat room thinks you're going to tell your substantial story. Don't tell it. Don't give them. Don't let them. Don't let them do it. Yeah, make them wrong.
Damn it.
Make them wrong. That's what I say. Fuck you, chat room. Make them wrong. You're not getting this. You know what? Never again. No more substantial.
And you're going to love this, Tom.
I'm speaking for you now. I'm gonna big dig this. You know what? Fucking the stories will start drying up. All right. I'm looking right at you.
No more stories.
No more stories. They're fucking done.
I know you heard them all before.
Yeah, done with stories.
Now, the old grandpa, that you're like, oh, God, he's going to tell this substantial story.
They're like, oh, he's going to tell
about his friend trying to rob the substantial and fell through the drop.
That's not even the funniest part. The funniest part of that story, they all blend together, is the fat guy that was in love with the girl that already had a boyfriend. And he was bringing her dirty teddy bears and gifts, and he saved up and bought her a cubic zirconium or something.
That was Pudge, then it smashed the register.
I like that.
So you're gonna love this, Tom, in terms of ultimate ways. So in the grand scheme of things, okay, let's say he did have a corked bat. He'll be suspended. They might forfeit the game, whatever.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball decided to fly out a former FBI agent to conduct a full investigation. They're dusting for fingerprints in the ceiling, in the ump room.
I like that.
They're doing a full investigation. figuring out the path of travel that this burglar must have taken from point A to point B.
But it's what you have to do to not make your organization look rinky-dink as shit, right? You have to make it look like you're actually doing something.
All over a corked bat, which has been proven not to really make any difference whatsoever.
But it wasn't proven until like a decade later. You know what I mean? Well, so they basically threatened the Cleveland Indians, hey, if you do not produce the bat, we will hire the FBI to investigate your team, and like threatening that they're going to go to the feds about it and make this whole ordeal. So they end up doing it. They x-rayed, they, cut it in half. He was suspended or whatever. And then after all that craziness, 5 years later, the pitcher was like, oh, yeah, I did it, and here's exactly how I did it. Like, he just did a whole, he's on a different team. It's like, they can't really suspend me now. It's been 5 years. I'm just going to go ahead and tell everyone about what I did, sneaking into the drop ceiling.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
Cheating in sports is my favorite, and they're doing it now. We just don't know yet, and that'll be exposed. But like people stealing calls and stuff has been going on, and probably still going on now.
Do you watch Sign Stealer at all on Netflix?
No, I didn't.
It's good, but it does show you that, and it's the age-old tale of you're seeing this guy's elaborate plan, and you're seeing what he created, but you also feel for him because had he done it the right way, he could have been. You know what I mean? Like it's like It always sucks to see somebody that's incredibly talented use their powers for evil.
Because there's the things where it's like you're doing stuff to gain an edge, but in those examples I did, they're like, no, they're just straight up cheating, and they're straight up doing wacky shit in order to try to get away with it.
Yeah, like the chat room saying it is not illegal to steal signs, but I guess it's illegal to steal signs
using a device.
Yeah, using a device.
That's what was the issue with that.
Yeah, and then gaining any sort of edge. And nowadays, everything is videotaped. There are so many open practices and things. Like, you can get inside information on the team you're playing to get any advantage. Belichick was doing it for years with everything.
We need to talk about him.
Any small edge he can get.
We need to talk about his Halloween costume. He's the happiest man in the world. That guy. I would pay any amount of money to see them fuck. I want to see how it works, right?
Well, he takes a blue chew.
Yeah, he does.
That's for sure.
You can use code TNJ at checkout.
I do like the people that exploit the loopholes. Like a few years ago, Jason Kidd was the coach. They were out of timeouts.
I can't take any man seriously whose last name is Kidd. Seriously. Like, even though I know he's tougher than me, I'm Jason Kidd. I'm like, but your name is so wimpy.
He had a cup of soda, and he was like holding it like out into the court, and he tells his player jogging by, he just tells him, bump me. And he bumps into the coach, and he's like, oh no, I spilled my soda on the court. They had to stop play to clean it up because they didn't have timeouts, and he'd use that to basically do a quick timeout. So, little things like that they're trying to,
You see it in the NFL all the time when players all of a sudden he just fell down and is holding his calf. And then they're going, we have that injury timeout. It's like, the offense needs a rest.
Yeah.
Some coach gave you a signal. You just take every single, it's like, as long as they're not breaking the rules.
The kings of that are soccer goalies. I love it when they, the ball will be rolling to them, and they'll run exaggeratedly, and then they'll jump up real high, and then they'll fall on the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll lay, and then they'll roll with it a little bit. They're just wasting as much time as humanly possible. I like that.
In hockey, back when there were only 12 teams or whatever, they would try to find those loopholes at all. So goalies would take little shavings of ice and pile it up at the goal line, so that way if a puck did somewhat hit it, it didn't have the exact velocity to get to the goal. They totally did the thing. It's like, well, there's no rules that say we can't do that, and so the NHL's like, fuck, all right, you cannot put shavings of ice piled up. So they would have to do all these different things, and the NHL, their rule book was basically made, half of it, because the players were like, hey, it doesn't say we can't do these things.
Well, I remember they were putting stickum, I forgot what it's called, some sort of tacky substance on your hand in the NFL in the 90s, and there was receivers that would literally have their whole hands covered and dripping off, but the shit was pure fucking tar. Glue, the super glue, and they could catch a ball with one finger and stuff, and then the NFL was like, all right.
There was a college
They're going
team.
to do that with a tush push eventually, too.
There was a college team that got in trouble. They were spraying Pam cooking spray all over their running back's jerseys, so that way the defenders would it would be a slippery grip on them as they run
I think
by.
you should be allowed to do that. Like, why not?
And again, their whole thing was like, hey, this isn't the banned stickum substance. This isn't the banned other stuff. It's just Pam cooking spray.
What is Pam cooking
We got it.
spray?
We got it. BOGO.
No, what is it? You ever looked at the back of Pam cooking spray?
There's like
it has no calories and it has nothing in it. There's nothing in it. It's literally and it's oil.
Yeah, I'm just
but it
spraying
is nothing,
chemicals.
But it's nothing.
Yeah, it's a chemical that I'm spraying and cooking my son's eggs on. Here, eat this. I trust the government. That's how it feels. Yeah, but every morning.
And they make different kinds now. They got Pam regular. Then they got like Pam olive. Then they got Pam. Have you had the Pam for baking where it's like sprayable flour? It's like sprayable flour.
And then there's always like butter flavor, and I'm like, do you really taste the flavor of the Pam that you're spraying in there? Like, who's taking Pam and
I'm
spraying
anti-Pam.
it?
I'm anti-Pam. I use olive oil. I can't, I don't know what it is, and it makes me mad. The Pam.
This all sports talk and ridiculous players doing ridiculous things reminds me of the movie. What's the movie with Bruce Willis and one of the Wayans brothers?
Any Given Sunday. No.
And then they were in a car. He was
he was at the last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
When he pulls out the gun.
Yeah, during the game.
My favorite scene in any movie.
He kills him, right?
Where he was so jacked up on whatever drug they were trying to get out of the streets or whatever that
he's all hopped up on ice.
The wide receiver caught the ball, and as he's running, he knows he's going to get tackled. He's like, "You're not getting me!" And he pulls a small caliber pistol out of his sock. And then he starts shooting the DBs trying to tackle him, which is kind of funny because he shoots one, and that would obviously cause the entire crowd and everybody to run. But another DB, another DB,
no foul.
I'm like, that's a brave motherfucker. He just saw his buddy get shot.
Well, you didn't see it. He didn't understand what was happening. It was too quick.
Yeah, and then I think he kills himself at the end. Which,
he does.
But I thought when I was a kid watching that scene, I'm like, well, he put that in his sock.
It's hard to run with a gun. Have you ever run with a gun in your sock? It's very hard.
Did he have that the whole game?
Yeah.
Did he get it from the sidelines?
It fell out. Second quarter, it fell out. He had to tuck it back in.
When
I put that on when he put on his socks at the beginning of the game.
I know that football pads aren't bulletproof. They're not bulletproof vests. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute. It wouldn't immediately kill them. Like, there's a whole bunch of padding that it has to go through. And
have you ever seen somebody really get shot?
Oh, yeah.
If you see it.
They don't know what's happening. They're like,
yeah. It's not like in the movies where you get shot and then they just crumple. It's normally they're like, whoa, blood's all flying out.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that Niners wide receiver Ricky Pearsall.
He's playing now.
He got shot and mugged.
He's fine.
And he's totally fine. Well, what's crazy is he got shot in the chest, and then when paramedics arrive, he's just like sitting upright, be like, "Hey guys, I got shot in the chest."
It missed all his organs and shit, just pure luck. And
it's
then
crazy.
So technically, if it misses your organs, like it's not that a bullet wound is not that bad.
I know,
like,
but
it goes through.
But still, the pain of it, you know what I mean? But this badass motherfucker is like, "Hey guys, got shot. We probably should treat it."
Yeah.
I was watching. I'm obsessed. Go ahead.
That story is weird because if you start looking into it, the other the kid who shot him. The lawyer is trying to argue that it's a weird argument because it's like, hey, Ricky Pearsall if he just gave his watch, none of this would have happened. He's like, he's the one that started fighting my client.
Have you never heard nobody move, nobody gets hurt?
He's trying to make the argument is like that, if he would have cooperated with
a good argument
with the robbery, because I guess
he's not wrong. Had he cooperated, he wouldn't have gotten shot.
And he said during the scuffle, the gun went off and he got shot, and it's like, that's your argument. That if he just gave his watch, none of this. I mean, I guess we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, I guess anybody you try to scrape for any argument at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever you can get your hands on.
All right, let's take another break. And then we can come back. Do you got anything? Any other stories, Kenny?
No, those are all the best of the cheating that I found, because every other one that I was researching, it's always the stuff like motorcycle, like GP races or whatever. And as they're getting to the final turn, the guy goes over and like uses his hand and hits the brake quickly on his like competitor, causing them to crash out.
No, like the old grab the competitor's front brake.
Yeah. Or there was one where it's a marathon runner and he's in the lead, and there's the tray of waters. He'll grab one water and with his other hand just like knock all the other waters off so no one behind him can get water. And those are just like shitty examples. I didn't really want to like go in depth on those.
There's one baseball one with a potato. we've talked about on the show before a long time ago, like where someone had a potato in their hand and like threw that to third base.
Oh yeah,
there's some weird shit where like it's like emulating the ball.
Yeah,
and then they thought that was a ball, and it was like, no, just a potato.
Sorry, tricked you with our potato.
Some stupid shit like that.
Oh god, it's a movie Rookie of the Year with the kid who's the pitcher for the Cubs, and he does like the whole thing where he's like playing chicken with the rosin bag, but it's not the rosin bag.
Oh, they do it like
it's the baseball.
All of that. Yeah, I mean that's all. A lot of that is real stuff that they still try to find those edges even today.
A good hidden ball trick is pretty hilarious, though. Because you look dumb as shit if you get caught on it.
When I was a kid watching Rookie of the Year, I thought that I'd be injured and become superhuman one day. And that's not what happens.
I'm surprised.
I was very disappointed.
Actually,
after every injury, I was worse after.
I'm surprised they haven't done a sequel to Rookie of the Year, but it's a kid who breaks his leg, and now his leg can boot 65-yard field goals.
No, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That seems like that's already been made somewhere.
Probably just a different variation.
Yeah.
I mean, we get a lot of like the same. I mean, we've been just basically doing the same
Especially
Shakespeare
because
for all of time.
The big flaw in Rookie of the Year was he played for the Cubs, which was in the National League, and at the time, pitchers had to bat. And I know they made a scene about it, but I'm like, you didn't think of that immediately, his first start, that he has to go to at bat? Like, it was just absolutely insane. Why not pick an AL team? That way he never has to bat.
Right. And then it would have made more sense.
Back then, they were just like, just put it out.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, people didn't analyze things. They're like, this is going straight to video.
I kind of hate the way people overanalyze everything now because it's kind of like, remember.
It ruins it. That's me.
It does,
I ruin everything.
It does ruin it. It's like when, you put out a masterpiece. Like, remember the Titanic? Or wasn't it the Titanic where somebody, like, saw the night sky and said, well, it wouldn't have looked like that.
That was James Cameron.
Yeah, and I'm just
it was
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson
and I'm
said
just
about
like,
James Cameron.
Shut the fuck up.
There's those like crazy things that you can't suspend belief, but like the movie Draft Day, which was actually produced by the NFL. It's like the Seahawks had the number 1 overall pick. Well, at the time, like they had Russell Wilson and they were like Super Bowl contenders. So like, in my mind, I'm like, how can I really separate that they have the number 1 overall pick in this movie that's supposedly taking place in the current time?
I believe Russell Wilson bicks his pubes. I do.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I think you guys are one and the same. Doing push-ups on the airplane.
And speaking of ruining things, even when I was a kid watching Rookie of the Year, I was like, why wouldn't they give everybody that surgery then? Well, I was like, if the surgery made his arm so tight he could throw 100-mile-an-hour fastballs,
just give everybody the old tight arm.
But remember, it wasn't the surgery; it was how it healed because of it. It was a flaw in how it healed.
He didn't understand that.
I was like, this is all it takes.
He's a dumb man.
Give it to me. I want to be rich.
The name of the band is Cloaks. The name of the song, it's another cover. This is Orange Crush by R.E.M. We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. 1-844-TOMNDAN show at tomanddan.com. Enjoy your music, y'all. We'll be easing you into a weekend. Voicemails and emails up next. I got a text from a BDM yesterday. He said, hey, man, hope you're doing well. Quick question. My best friend's car is barely hanging on. She's in desperate need of getting a new one. We're interested in possibly Subaru. Who should I get a hold of? I sent him all of Mike Stack's information. That's the person you need to talk to, and that's who my friend is going to talk to. And he's correct in that purchasing a Subaru, you're making a good
investment.
Yeah, it's a reliable car. They're made for adventure. There's a reason that active, fun people buy these cars. The powertrain warranty on this thing is
lifetime,
literally ridiculous.
Yeah,
and they hold their value, and most of the time, if you buy a Subi, you buy another one.
Yeah, and the dealership that advertises with us is Sport Subaru North John Young Parkway. It's a brand new dealership, so talk to Mike Stacks there.
Mike Stacks, that's your guy.
If you fill out the form on tomanddan.com, it goes to Mike. Also, J.C. Harrelson, if you're looking for a Chevy, that's Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, dmchevy.com. Talk to J.C. Harrelson. He'll put you with a salesperson that will help you out as well. Mention Tom and Dan. They'll give you the VIP treatment because they want to do right for you guys.
Yeah.
They've been advertising with us for over 10 years as well.
I mean, it's crazy to think about that, but you know what? We should have done this. We're real bad at it. I'd love to have seen how many automobiles our BDMs have purchased.
Oh, over a decade?
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
It'd be a wild number, I think.
Yeah.
And you guys are richer than we are. You guys buy some cool-ass vehicles. Like,
Well,
you buy some nice stuff.
I like any listener that buys multiple. They're like, I've already bought 2 vehicles, buying my third.
Yeah.
It
also
over
makes
the
me
10
feel
years.
old. It makes me feel very, very old. It's a marker for me.
I'm buying my final vehicle. This is the one I plan to die in. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's a good angle. Buy that vehicle you want to die in. Go to dmchevy.com or talk to Mike Staggs and make plans now to die in your brand new Subaru. That is the Bitter Chills with their cover of Guns N' Roses, Mr. Brownstone. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom. We've got Kenny Samslow here. How you doing,
Heyo. I do like at the end of that song, it's always the drummer wants to sneak in a little on the cymbals at the end as it's fading out. Like, he doesn't need to do that. Like, the song's over, the guitar hit the last strum, and the drummer's like, nah.
Well, we don't get enough shine, so drummers notoriously...
Okay. Fuck that. You guys are the most popular, most energetic.
We're not. Why do you think at the end of any song, you listen to any song that Jelly Roll does live, his drummer, who's up for Country Drummer of the Year, the guy's name is Hambone or something. They all have food names, and he and he does every song. He'll be at the end of it, he was
You guys get your own badass solos, and everyone loses their shit.
No. Drum solos are not in right now.
But they have to carry so much shit.
So much shit.
We
never get laid. We're the last to make it to any after party.
They have all the shit they have to load in on the stage. His
name is Pork Chop. Thank you, Captain Dano. His name is Pork Chop.
Let me say this.
He has a mullet.
They're more popular than, and I'm not saying this to insult you, they're more popular than bass players. Bass players get the least amount of love because they don't get a solo.
Well,
they don't get any sort of
Most bass players are child molesters. Ask Tom. Ask Tom. He was molested by the bass player for Casey and the Sunshine Band. I said what I said.
At least they just have to carry one case.
Do you remember any of that?
That was a mullet.
Is that what drove you to bick your pubes? Is that this a younger 70s disco man sucking your dick at a wedding?
It does remind me how young I was and the difference between me and my son and what our mentality is like. I was 12 years old.
So close.
When I was
Did you look like Tommy?
13, maybe?
Did you look like Tommy or did you look like Max?
I look like Max.
Okay.
Yeah, Tommy's more.
So I'm trying to picture you.
Yeah. But me and Porno Joe, we were drinking the champagne in my Meemaw's garage.
You're getting lit.
And then the drummer for Casey.
Did you curse?
The bass player for Casey and the Sunshine Band, which is my stepdad's friend.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Porno Joe, why don't you beat it? I want to talk to Tom for a little bit. I got something I want to talk to him about.
He was getting us mixed drinks from the bar.
He's like, in Hollywood, when where I play bass for KC, most young boys and men like to give each other shirtless rubs.
And before that,
right? He says that, and you're like, really?
No.
Is that really what they do? And you're like, he's like, oh yeah, that's really. I mean, if you ever want to play in a rock band, yes, I do. I want to be in Green Day, Kerplunk.
Before anyone brings it up, I realize that there are famous bass players. I get that, but I'm just saying, as a whole, there aren't as many as others.
By the way, my stepdad would have just been mad. He'd be like, you let that man suck your dick? God. He's my friend.
Get down tonight. That's the song.
He'd be mad that I let him suck my dick.
Let's go around the room, and on the count of 3, I'll count, and we'll do it on 3. So on 3, say the name of the bass player you would want to suck your dick. Do you know mine? I bet you can guess mine.
The Incubus. No,
the hot girl. No. Mine would be Les Claypool.
No.
It'd feel good, I bet, on my balls.
Let's do some.
We got to get out of that. Get out of the Les Claypool, please. All right, voicemails. If you want to leave us a voicemail, we'd love for you to do so. You could 2 ways to do it. 1-844-TOMNDA or 866-844. I'm messing that up. It's 1-866-TOMNDAN.
Before we get into voicemail, I want to explain what happened right before the show. And before Ken even got here.
Oh, you want to talk about my pants?
Me and Daniel, and Daniel's like, you know what? He's like, I love these shorts, but moths have eaten holes in my shorts. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, moths. And I'm like, what? Moths don't eat holes in your pants.
Yeah, they do.
And then I'm like, this is not.
I got moth pants.
You don't have your grandpa's Civil War pants that have been in your closet for 200 years. Those are Chubbies. You bought those in 2013.
Those look like you went to the Salvation Army and
look at the back.
Look at the back.
Yeah.
I see your.
You can see my panties. Maisie hates these. Maisie yells at me. She's like, "Don't wear those. You can see your panties."
You straight up look like you're homeless and you've been wearing that for the last 7 months
shorts.
Straight.
Oh shit, my wife's in there.
Yeah, but these are not old vintage shorts from the 70s.
They're moths.
Yeah.
Our house has moths. I have to call Burn.
Did you
call Burn Pest.
Did you realize that they had holes in them after you put them on?
No. They've had like the holes. Okay, I bought them. They're not as old as you said. They're after pandemic.
They're
20, 21, 22. They're 3 years old. I bought them 3 years ago. I got some moths in my drawers. In my drawers, not my drawers. And the moths ate bits and pieces of them. and then I held them up. I showed Andrea. I go, look, the moths got my pants. And she's like, "Why? We don't have moths." And I'm like, "We have moths." And then every time I put them away, they get a little more mothy. The moths will come. They feast on them. The moths feast on my pants.
No, there's not that many moths.
I have moths.
You don't live in an old haunted house of moths.
I have never worn these. These are 2021s. None of my other Chubbies are like this. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea, call in. Like, this is fucking. These have been compromised by moths. They're moths.
You yelled what I'm sure every old person has yelled to their like old Meemaw wife is like, "The moths ate my pants."
Okay, you're fucking around. Okay, this is gonna be your last time to ever come to our show if you don't believe my stories. This is.
I don't think that's a thing that other people deal with.
Look at the way it's destroyed.
I'm not.
They're all holes.
No, but a moth has been. It's like little teeth.
I'm not denying that moths could have eaten holes in that.
It's little teeth marks. You can see. It doesn't look like I could have stabbed myself with a screwdriver or fallen off a one wheel.
The size of them is what's absurd.
Yeah,
because the moths, they come back. They feast on my shorts.
Have you ever picked up a moth? They're made of dust. How can they be strong enough to eat?
They're magical creatures.
I've had old shirts get eaten by moths before, and they're like tiny little holes. You know what I mean? Like little baby ones.
I know, and this has been going on for a minute.
You could fit a golf ball in the hole that's in the back of your shirt.
I'm going to go to ChatGPT.
This is Silverfish. That's what eats their goddamn clothes and stuff in Florida.
Fuck, I forgot about Silverfish.
Silverfish. No, it's not the moth, it's the fish.
No, Silverfish just come out of your drain when you're brushing your teeth.
No, that's something different.
Silverfish is that little silver worm that has points and prongs in the front and prongs in the back.
Yeah, those prongs chop up your chubbies. Seriously. A moth is a fucking dust butterfly. How the hell is it going to eat chubbies?
That's the name of the show, is Chop Up Your Chubbies.
I'll say.
Yeah, it's got the big fucking
my shorts.
Scissors up front, and it chomps.
Moths.
What's crazy is
Silverfish.
I've seen some of those like crazy ass earwax videos where they pull the stuff out, but then every once in a while you see the earwax video where it's like bugs are living in the ear and like growing in there, and I'm like, how the fuck do you live life like that?
Well, then they pan out, and then you see the person's face, and you're like, I know.
Okay, ChatGPT.
I know the reason there are bugs in ears. All right, sorry.
ChatGPT has an answer for us here. Let's see what they say.
Moths or silverfish could indeed be the culprits for missing chunks in your shorts. Here's a quick rundown to help identify the likely suspect. Moths. Clothes moths, often the larvae, are notorious for feasting on natural fibers like cotton, wool, silk, and other fabrics.
Cotton.
If your shorts are made of these materials and stored in a dark, undisturbed area, moths could be the reason. Look for tiny holes and sometimes a fine web-like silk near the damage.
No silk.
Silverfish. Silverfish are also fabric eaters, but tend to favor materials high in starch, such as cotton, linen, and even synthetics. They often chew irregular, larger patches and prefer damp, warm environments. So, if your shorts have been stored in a humid area, like in Orlando's climate, silverfish might be the likely cause.
There you go.
To be sure, check for small larvae, webs, or shed skins, as these can signal moths. Silverfish.
Well, my entire bedroom is covered in skins. I mean, there's just bug skins everywhere.
This is Florida. Florida has the fish.
Yeah, silverfish, fish.
Mothy larvae. That's a good name.
So, but why is your closet so damp?
I have a very damp closet.
Why is it so dark and damp?
I like to keep my closets damp.
Wait. Are there any other clothes that have holes in it, or is it just that one pair of shorts?
They're in a drawer. They're the only pair of shorts I have that have been attacked. Every other T-shirt and every other pair of shorts is is perfect. This pair of shorts has just we washed them one day. I kid you not. We washed them. Put them away. The next time I pull them out, hold them up, holes in them.
So they get that in that.
It was
one
that fat. It wasn't
a silverfish ate holes.
Yeah. I would love if this is some long-term prank between Andrea and Maisie. And
no,
every time
they don't prank. They don't do any jokes. They
see,
get mad at me. Maisie told me the other day. I was like having a heart-to-heart, and I'm like, hey, why don't you ever tell me? Like the dance stuff. Like the problems at dance and stuff. Why are you always telling Mama? She's like, because you make too many jokes.
That's what makes it the perfect crime. Is they're so anti-jokes, anti-fun.
I like how they spend their nights poking little holes in your shorts, driving you crazy, and you're like, "Goddamn silverfish!" And then one day they're like, "I'll show you," and you blow your head off. And then it was like, "Oh shit!"
We got they're free now. They're free.
You blew his head off because he was being driven crazy by the silverfish.
Let's see here. Other people what are they saying? They have thinned out. It's a bad pair. Andrea thinks it's a bad pair of shorts, like the cloth was.
And they're just rubbing, and is that why they're...
They're random holes. Like a bad pair of shorts, it doesn't just disintegrate random holes. Something ate holes in that.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, look, I admit it.
You didn't spill acid on there. Like sometimes I have
to change my life. I have holes in my shorts. My underwear has holes. I have, most underwear I wear... Tidy whities, like every pair I have, like the waistband, there's holes near the waistband because they're so old. Like I'm wearing underwear that's in some cases 8-9 years old.
Just get some new underwear.
I can't do it.
They have the internet.
I bought what I bought until I die. I'm done. I'm done buying.
I feel like I've been telling you this for more than a decade.
But I
to buy new underwear.
I can't do the synthetic. I can't do laser underwear. I gotta have regular old American GI, hard-working blue collar. I need some.
I'm gonna buy you
hard-ass Tampa. I need some hard-ass Tampa, Florida blue-collar Fruit of Loom.
I'm going to buy you underwear for your next birthday. When you turn 50,
don't.
I'll buy you some underwear finally. I bought you pillows last time.
Yeah, the pillows are great. He bought me the best pillows. Oh, my God, these pillows are so great. And I don't even share them with Andrea. I take them both. They're mine. They're my fucking pillows.
Like during COVID times, I making some side money. I did Shipped with a grocery shopping service, and every once in a while you go to like Target and you get non-grocery items, and typically those are things like, hey, I need you to get like a box of nails or maybe some
get
duct
my
tape
pussy cream.
Do you judge the person that sends you shopping based on what they're buying?
Well, yes, because one time,
and I do a similar variation of my other prank. I write AIDS on the receipt.
I had to buy, I kid you not, 4XL Tidy Whities packs. And I had to basically...
Oh, that's that fat guy from Jackass that used to run around Preston.
Yeah, and it was one of those
Preston
where
Lacey?
They had put a note in there, be like, I just checked Target's website. This Target has 3 of them. I need you to buy all 3.
I didn't even know they made 4XLs. I bet those are comfy.
Yeah, and I had to buy them, and when I went to deliver it, I was like, oh, I can't wait to meet this person. I cannot wait to meet this person. But I think it was their caretaker that opened the door.
Oh, it's like the whale. It's like the whale.
Oh, my God, I've always wanted to meet a whale.
And then they're like, leave it at the door, and then you hide to see what the whale looks like.
Yeah, you want to see it?
And then
just that big fat hand come out.
Then he sees that you see him, and it's sad.
And then didn't he rage through his house? Destroying the pizza, but then eating it too?
Yeah.
But he stands up.
He stands up. He flies. It almost went full Wednesday or whatever, Tuesday or whatever shit.
I will say that lady did give me a cash tip instead of going through the app, because sometimes when you get the app, you forget about it or whatever. But she, like, as I dropped it off, like, handed me a $20 bill, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'll buy you more Quad XL undies.
Chat room is saying, nah, Hanes X Temp with the pouch, no chafing and incredibly breathable. I am not. Hold on. I am not putting my balls in a pouch. I'm not doing it.
Dana wants.
I'm not doing underwear should not have technology involved in it. It's fucking underwear. It's to keep you from getting shit crumbs and pecker tracks on your pants.
Oh, for me, I'm thinking it's preventing chafing, so it's not rubbing on the denim or the...
No, I would wear no underwear because I don't get chafed. I mean, there's nothing going on down there.
Dana wants government issue.
Yeah.
Standard.
I want the patent.
Yeah, the standard.
General patents. Like, what did he wear?
Yeah, American GI.
Yeah, I want the American GI. I do. I don't like
elastic on the legs and the top.
I don't want
Baggy.
Seahawks lime green. I don't want that. I don't want purple. I don't want fun jack-o'-lanterns. I don't want candy canes. I don't want Austin Powers. I don't want Bluey. I don't want anything. I don't want Charlie XCX. I want white. Or, in the last couple years, I've given myself the grace of wearing black.
It's disheartening, though, when the elastic does wear off and you try putting it on and it just, like, falls straight down.
That's what Dana wants.
I like.
And made out of the same material as a scarecrow's hat.
Yeah. Burlap. I like a solid.
Yeah.
Well, I like to get some wear out of them. So if they were made out of sailcloth,
wicker
fine.
briefs.
Yeah, I'm good. I just can't do I don't like it. I think it's weird when you pull your jeans down and you're wearing like lime green with a black lightning bolt. I'm like, no. No.
All of my boxers are
action.
My MeUndies.
yeah, they're all
they all got pandas.
Joe Boxer, MeUndies. Yeah, you got some lightning bolts. What do you got? What are you rocking?
Camping.
Oh my God, this guy. That's the only time he gets fun is when he wears his underwear.
My mom started buying me novelty boxers when I was a kid.
Do you have it matching with Crystal?
No,
because all the advertisements are the guy and the girl with the matching undies.
Yeah.
I stopped looking at those advertisements when they started using fat people. That's how that works, right? They're not as fun to look at, I notice, right? It's weird, though.
Well, you could make the argument. These are the,
I've always
everyday.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. This is what everybody looks like. I know what everybody looks like. I am everybody.
Yeah, and by the way,
put a hot lady on there.
It's worse than this. It's way worse.
These bigger people look great. You don't want to see me.
Yeah. Like this would be considered skinny nowadays.
All right, let me get some voicemails for you. This one was interesting because I'd never heard of this before. Here we go.
Hey everyone, there's another spooky thing that happens in Volusia County. It's called the Screaming Bridge out in Oak Hill. I guess there's this guy that ran over his wife when they were trying to elope or something. But the real scary thing about the Devil's Chair is if you name your beer after it, you're going to run your business into the ground.
Oh,
how dare you, sir.
Putting other people down makes you feel better, does it?
Yeah, that was in a news article that I read. That
it was the Weekly. They're a little loose.
They're like Red Cypress Brewery made a beer called the Devil's Chair in 2019.
Unnecessary dig.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
And we did a Halloween special where we went to Casadega and visited the Devil's Chair.
We did.
You'll have to go check it out on ACT.
What's that place? It's kind of near Lakeland, but it's like it's an optical illusion, but it's one of those where it's
Spook Hill.
Yeah, where if you put your car in neutral, it feels like you're going up, even though it visually looks like you're going.
Yeah. There's that thing, and they're all not that impressive. In fact,
all of them are kind of.
I don't want to ruin the Devil's Chair. But what do you think happened when we went there?
Exactly.
And
you'll have to listen to it.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's try this one right here because I am just like this guy.
Anyone else get so pissed off whenever you have the hiccups? I hate it so bad, and it makes me so annoyed that even my dog gets irritated whenever I get hiccups. Anyway, have a great day, guys.
I like that his dog gets irritated that he gets the hiccup. I too hate the hiccups.
Was he doing a load of laundry in the background?
It sounded like that.
There was
like
a...
I hate the hiccups. I hate them. And because I have IBS, I think I get them a little more than most people do. And I have to do the hold the breath thing. I've never really found... What's your go-to way of getting rid of the hiccups?
Wait, the holding your breath, because I'll hold my breath and I'll push out air so that it's impossible to hiccup.
But I still hiccup through it.
Yeah, then I'll stop and it would be a good minute of me holding my breath and I'm like, that happened.
Yeah.
And then you hiccup.
Yeah.
And then you're like, goddamn, all that did nothing?
I try to force a burp. So if I know that I'm hiccuping, what I'll do, I'll try to gulp air and intentionally burp it out because I'm like, oh, that might jiggle some of the other air that's in your diaphragm.
Also, when you are too drunk, just like the cartoons, you do hiccup.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You do.
And then every time I do it, I'm like, this is like the cartoons I watched in the 80s.
I have bubbles coming out of my brain.
This is what Pinocchio and his friends did.
I'm going to share. I'm going to be a little vulnerable with you. Normally, when at the end of the night, if I'm really hiccuping, I'm like, gotta get rid of my hiccups so Andrew will fuck with me. Right? You can't fuck with the hiccups, and if you're hiccuping, she knows you're plastered.
Yeah.
You gotta get rid of them.
Yeah. Then you can't get a boner.
I can't get a boner with the hiccups. You ever tried to get a boner with the hiccups? It's hard.
You can't do it.
It goes hing, hing. It hurts.
I think it's one of those where people tell you, hey, you can't sneeze with your eyes open. You don't really think about it until you try it. I don't think I've ever thought about, hey, could I get an erection with
no,
hiccups?
You can't. It's impossible.
No, it's impossible. Try it. I want the listeners to try. Next time you have the hiccups, try to work one up.
Yeah, send us a video.
The thing that pisses me off, though, is when I sneeze 7 times in a row. And it's just like, son of a bitch, I'm dying. Because, the sneezes don't stop.
Related, unrelated, if I'm on the toilet about the shit and I sneeze and the turd comes out, that's awesome. I love that. It comes out rocket fire.
I hate having to sneeze or cough when you have, a mouthful of food. And it ends up oh, God, this is just going to go everywhere.
Yeah, have you ever had a stinky sneeze?
Yes.
Because sometimes I'll sneeze and it smells like iron.
It smells like iron.
Yeah, blood.
Like you sneeze and you're like, that smells like fresh blood. Which is something you shouldn't be able to smell, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you should
sneeze.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's ALS. Something.
Another thing I've noticed when I floss my teeth and I suck in my teeth, I'm like, tastes his blood. But that's because I floss right the day before I go to the dentist. Like, he'll never know.
My gums are all irritated.
He'll never know. My gums are swollen. They're puffed up.
Did you have a boxing match last night?
Somebody replaced your gums with a red leather sofa.
Dude, they're bleeding before I even know you open your mouth. You should just floss
in the lobby. I've done it before.
There's just a trail of blood.
I've gone
I went to the doctor for 8 years. I could tell you floss in the lobby.
I went to the dentist one time and forgot to brush my teeth before I went to the dentist, which I was like, how the fuck did I do that? So I had to do the move where you go into the bathroom.
Oh, you brush your
teeth. And I brushed my teeth there with the because they have free toothbrushes there. And I was like, brush them. I'm like, oh, they're going to fucking know. They're going to know.
I have to wrap this toothbrush in toilet paper and put it in the garbage.
Yeah. You get Tom to go through the drop ceiling and confiscate the evidence.
Yeah.
Just like my buddy from Substantial.
Don't tell him.
You'll never know that story.
Yeah, don't tell him. All right.
Even though you know that story.
You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, we'll do one more.
Kenny's got a work call.
Yeah, right. Mr. Busy over here.
Here we go.
Hey, Tom and Dan. This message is for Dan. I noticed on recent shows you've been kind of expressing some frustration on some offhanded comments about the internet and how useless it is and how annoying it is and how Facebook is practically useless.
He basically goes on, I'll speed him up a little bit, to talk about the dead internet theory. I am finding the internet less useful, all across the board. Searches are weirder, harder, more difficult.
You still, though, can find information about anything, and I am more than ever convinced that there's no need to ever ask another human being any question because you have all the answers on the internet from all curated from all the humans in the world, and you're getting the best information now because I know people say false, but no, if you know how to look at Google and look at searches, you could find the answer to anything. And that's pretty impressive.
What do you think?
The thing that gets me is small restaurant finding their menu. Because sometimes you can't, and that's fucking annoying.
Okay, yeah. There's some things that are like, it blows your mind. Like, why isn't this, why hasn't this person adopted technology at all yet? But you can really find a how-to with any... I mean,
for the most part, I'll give you the best example that I found recently of, like, I was telling you this morning. We had a problem. I'll give you a real-world example of something that affects our bottom line. Logic is the program we use to edit audio in here, and we have for the last, how long have we done? 20 years. And so it's been acting up. And so I didn't know what to do. It's above my pay grade. I am creative and I know my way around the Macintosh, but I can't really build a computer on my own without help or whatever. So what I did is I took the code that it gave me this really long error message, and I took all of that long code and I copied it into ChatGPT, and I said, like, yo, what's going on here? Is this something that I can fix? Explain it to me simply. And then it gave me a step-by-step guide of how to go in to actually access some hidden files, put in my passcode. I'm accessing stuff that I could have ruined my computer, but it's giving me how to do it.
Yeah.
And I went in, and there was one little config file that I had to grab, delete, restart computer, and then reopen Logic and see if I fixed it. And goddamn it, if it didn't work perfectly. Perfectly. It's amazing that you can take code and numbers and zeros and ones and things that I don't understand, give it to ChatGPT, and it can go like, oh, I know exactly what this is, and we can fix this. It's wild.
The thing that I hate, and it's gotten better, but when you used to go to like message boards of people who had an issue, be like, hey, I just want to know what is the hotkey for this, one feature on it. And then the first response is, okay, well, I need to know your exact processor. I need to know what year your computer was built. I need to know the exact version number. And I'm like, just tell me what the fucking hotkey is.
Right.
Why am I giving you all of this information for this one piece of info that is universal? And it's annoying when it's like, well, I'm not going to answer your question until you respond with your life story.
But now you see, because there is no question that's unique to the internet. So your question has been asked 10 million times, and it's basically vetted all the best
I bet
answers.
you I could ask some shit that's never been asked.
I don't think there's nothing anybody could ever think of that's never been thought of.
Do you think a mother and daughter have used the same banana anally?
Yes, that's been asked.
You think so?
Ask ChatGPT.
The one that I love.
Has anyone ever asked this ChatGPT?
You go on the Facebook food pages, and it's like, hey, what place has the best chicken parm? And someone will be like, I make my own chicken parm. You should go just make your own. I'm like, that's not the fucking question.
Oh yeah. The people that make comments on Facebook posts and whatever that are totally about something different, and it's a complete waste of time. I'm like, how do these people have so much time?
Hey, is this restaurant
how?
Is this restaurant open on Sundays? I go to this restaurant.
It is insane that people are just sitting in front of their computer typing comments all day long. That's their hobby, right?
I think it's less of a hobby and more of a
compulsion.
It's true loneliness. I feel like in a lot of ways too.
There's nothing else going on.
The greatest problem we would have if the internet went away wouldn't be that I think people would go insane.
Yeah, but they relied on it for so long.
Yeah.
It's unlimited entertainment.
Yeah.
It is pretty insane that you have unlimited entertainment on your phone that you'll never be bored again.
The thing that's weird for me now to wrap my brain around, if you think about it, is that with AI and the uses of AI, theoretically, I can have unlimited artificial or official, whatever you want to call them, conversations with something. You're right. You can generate stuff with it. You can tell it, write me an original story, and it will.
And then about whatever you want.
And then you can just read it.
Then not too distant future, make this into a movie.
Right.
My personal movie that now I'm watching.
Which actually,
getting crazy.
In a weird way, I will tell you, and this is probably my age, but hearing that drives me away from it. It does not make me want it more.
Oh, that's why people they're rejecting it.
Yeah. I get that feeling. Like when you say that, I can feel myself being triggered. I feel the response of you saying, like, so you wrote the story, and then you say, like, here, make it a movie, and then I visualize myself watching something like that quick, and it does. I don't know, it doesn't.
And then you're like, not good enough. Make me know. It's all disposable garbage. Then, like, you're devaluing everything.
What's going to be really interesting, and not to make this a nerdy conversation, though, is what you just said, right? Okay, so it does devalue, and what happens when it's devalued? Then you have people saying, give me the next one, give me the next one, give me the next one. It is finite. We don't have unlimited energy.
Yeah. And then, but that's when you look outside, you're like, whoa!
This place like shit.
We're just like
just smokestacks everywhere.
The real world. Anyway,
that's a good ending point. I think that's a fantastic ending point.
Well, Kenny, got anything to plug?
No,
One move?
I talked about it before. It's the moves are dying.
What about
is it done?
We haven't done one in a while, and it's
how long is a while? Let's talk about it.
A couple months.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, it's done.
Yep. Yeah. All the momentum you built.
Would you like to join Remy's Roundtable podcast? He has a GoFundMe right now, I believe, for his...
He would invite me.
I think it's for his 10-year anniversary or something. I forget what he's doing.
You still doing drone racing?
Yeah. That's coming up soon. We're about to do Media Day out in L.A. In a couple weeks. Yep.
Right.
It's very much like Media Day at the NFL. Exactly the same.
Yep. Well, they do that thing where it's like, all right, on the count of 3, you're going to look down, and then you're going to look up and cross your arms, staring into the camera, which is very awkward to do over and over and over again.
Oh, here's homework for people that like sports documentaries. Watch Starting 5 on Netflix, because they show you all of Jimmy Butler's behind the scenes of him doing his goth outfit for Media Day. It's really fun.
You mean it was Myles Garrett? Oh no! No,
it's
Jimmy Butler
Jimmy
of
Butler for the
Miami
Heat.
But
it's awesome. He crimps his hair. He does the nose rings and everything, and they show you him doing it, and it's funny. It's
full swoopy over one eye.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there if you're doing more Halloween type of deals.
Yep, and we'll see you on Monday.
Bye.
Look, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
This is all jokes and funny to you, huh? You can take it up with legal. Have a good day.